Hey, I'm Pat B.
And I'm Adam Willis.
And you're listening to the Geek Down here on WEMF Radio. Leaping forward bionically in all directions, my friend, and then right back down to earth because we have reality going on, not augmented. But some talk. Hold it. Oh, sorry. I got off on a bit of a rant. I apologize. I'm back.
I think that's the first time that's happened on the show.
The first time I've...
You ever gone on a rant? Yeah.
Please, you will find no one more controlled. And yes.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Geek Down here on WEMF. As you heard, I am Pat B. In the house we have my homeboy Supreme, Black Adam Willis.
Yes, sir. How you doing? I missed you, man. I mean, we missed you last week. You got your bionic knee in place now. You know, you're sewed back up, sewed together.
Yeah,
you seem to be doing okay though. You don't have the pimp cane with you.
Well, no. See, what they did was they installed some technotronics. It's like Tron in there. Now they said like I want
all these movable parts. It's science. You can't really explain.
Well, I'm dragging it like Kaiser Soze in The Usual Suspects for a little bit. But,
How do you shoot the devil in the back? What if you miss?
No, it's like everywhere I go, I'm just gonna hear "You belong to the city."
Yeah, that's one of my wishes. If I could have that play every time I entered a dimly lit room.
Dude,
it's one of those tracks.
Badass theme
that
song.
or Eminence Front by the Who.
Yeah, no, that's a driving song. I met an Adam Willis just like tooling down the road. And Eminence Front, put on. You just like side swiping cats on the.
Which accounts for a lot of my fender benders I've been in the last few years. Yeah,
you can't say that. We broadcasting. It's live.
Yeah, right.
All right, and also you heard a couple more voices. We are not alone in the house. I'm looking across here into those baby blues of Jay and Philip Priest.
As they both look at each other like blue eyes here.
Two brown-eyed individuals.
I'm gonna be lying to people. Ladies going on my Facebook thinking I have blue eyes.
Man, that will boost your parishionership tenfold.
Probably. I'm glad to be here, gentlemen. Glad to be here, gentlemen.
Glad to
ladies.
have you in the house, my friend.
Thank you.
And not to be outdone, I look across here, the most electrifying man in show business. I'm talking, of course, about Miss McCall.
It me.
Hey. How you doing tonight?
I am splendid.
Cool. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And also, we are having you via the good virtues of the man who keeps us sounding amazing every week. I'm talking, of course, about DJ Herbie Herb.
Hey, guys.
Hey, what's happening, dude?
Where the booze at? Where the booze at?
This man was nice enough to bring us that bathtub moonshine one time.
I wonder I was deaf for 3 days after it. Yeah. I don't feel good.
Hey man, if you're gonna get hurt in the best pot. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, right to the show.
Yeah.
Because we do have we got tons of material. We got to get.
Yeah, man.
And all of it is Pokemon.
And all of it. We got a lot of material, and all of it's Pokemon.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, it's just been sweeping the world.
Well, it's crazy, and we'll get into that in a second. But it was just a weird, crazy day to be online, to be on social media at all, because it was like it was going back and forth between what this craziness that's happened in Dallas, the civil rights stuff, which is going. The world seemed to be going mad. People getting shot and all this, and then people like finding dead bodies. They'll go hunting for Pokemon. Like it's just like I was trying to. It was just like the both ends of this crazy spectrum. I'm like, I'm just gonna turn the phone off for a couple hours. Maybe the world will calm down around me.
But it's better than trying to wrap your head around this stuff,
right?
Man.
That's why I was like, I just gotta put it down, make myself some dinner. I don't know. It's too much crazy going on right now.
That's hilarious. I did the exact same thing. Put my phone down. The only time I turn my phone back on is when my neighbor was like, "Don't get on the Pokemon, man. Don't do it. It's like crack." I'm coming from because she like came from around the corner. I'm like, "Where you coming from?" It's the Pokemon, man. Don't do it.
The Pokemon game. I'm seeing people come into the bar, managing like that, and just like walking around these neckbeard guys, like looking for stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I saw
guys?
in Hartford, Connecticut, there was a bar that literally had a sign that said "Pokemon are for customers only." But to be fair, I was at a convention, so that might have been tongue in cheek. But there was genuinely a sign of the window.
There was it definitely came from someplace, whether or not they meant
it is a thorough epidemic.
So why do you take us into this? What this is, Batman? This is crazy.
You want to talk Pokemon now?
I think it's here. You can't avoid it, Pat. It's already arrived.
Okay, now you already breached one of the points, man. Dig this: a Pokemon Go player just this week found a body, a dead body.
Found a body.
Yeah, starting off on a high note. While searching for Pokemon, while playing the augmented reality game Pokemon Go.
Yep.
Now, 19-year-old Shayla Wiggins of Riverton, Wyoming. Of course, this happened like way out in the mountains.
This is deep.
But of Riverton, Wyoming, found the body of an unidentified man while searching the Big Wind River. She says she was, quote unquote, trying to get a Pokemon from a natural water source, and instead discovered a corpse, yo.
All right, yeah. So, but they did discover that this body wasn't like he was offed and then dumped there, you know? I think they said it was like a natural cause thing, like he drowned, right? And then
this time they
Still.
don't suspect foul play. Said the Fremont County Undersheriff Ryan D. Lee got this dude's name. Made sure he plastered him all over the sucker. I want to make sure I report that I have not found. Gonna be like the Lance Ito of this sucker.
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody got that, you know what I mean. But no.
Well, how do you think this affects her gameplay?
Would that be a ghost type?
She's taking off the augmented reality. That's what she's doing.
Like, I don't know.
She done found.
I wouldn't be able to play this thing again. I don't think I would play it in the first place, but
You think this would taint their experience, man?
maybe. If anything's gonna.
She is definitely turning off the augmented reality after that.
I think that'd be
regular
more.
Or maybe she's
arcade
trying to go
background.
deeper to make everything crazy because like she's gone too deep now. It's
this
turned
young-
her. It's turned her for sure.
This young lady has discovered her future career as a private investigator. She's finding bodies just by accident and things.
Yeah, they're gonna do one of those TV shows by
She'd be Sherlock Holmes.
Like
and
she
Pikachu,
has
man.
this sixth sense now.
Like I was looking for one thing, another thing popped up. Look at that.
Yeah, the mentalist. No,
There's
these
just
people
an
like,
oddish on top of like a corpse.
yeah, no, it's gold. It's just like her following Goldine to the treasure.
Oh man.
All right, hold on. An investigation is ongoing to find out who this dude actually is. But Pokemon Go launched, if anyone doesn't know, Pokemon Go launched on Android and iOS devices just last week, so fairly recently. And the game tasks players with visiting real-world locations to discover and capture Pokemon. The app warns players to be alert at all times and stay aware of their surroundings while playing. Hence, you may step over someone's frozen rigor mortis corpse.
Yeah. Well, this is this crazy thing with this game. It's like one of those things when I heard about it, and I'm thinking like I'm never gonna see these people out in the world. It's gonna, it's just giant thing that's happening. It's like Flappy Bird. I'm gonna, people are gonna be playing around me, but I'm not gonna notice. But today I'm like walking down the street and I see like 3 guys out like together, out hunting for this. I'm like, oh my god, this is really a thing. This is happening, and I see it, and like I can't avoid it now. So this is big, man.
Well,
this is
some
blowing
kind of,
my mind.
They had some kind of meetup group. I stopped into a bar before the show here, just hanging out with a few cats. They had some kind of meetup group. They were meeting in the private room, and I guess apparently that's like one of the hot spots, or
That's where the hot Pokemon are?
Yeah, the Pokestops.
Do you think?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of hot Pokemon, do you think that Machine and Ramrod are a Pokespot?
Are I don't know what kind of Pokemon you're looking for. It's gonna be
Machoke?
yeah, it'll have Machoke and Machamps just all like in the place.
So many jokes.
Well, like, do you think that's a thing? Because I know there's, I keep finding Zubats and Rattatas in the subway. Like,
Yeah, for real.
Wow, you know what? I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, do you think this is going to be a marketing thing for bars and stuff like that? Start
Could
like,
be.
yeah,
Well,
we got
the issue is that a lot of them are coming out of the points on them are from Ingress, and since no one cared about Ingress, a lot of the landmarks aren't registered.
Oh wow, I thought it didn't use Google Maps then.
No, it uses Ingress. It uses the different places that people registered on it.
Is that bigger overseas? Is that just is it just in
No,
America?
it just it sucks.
it just sucks.
Nobody liked
They
it.
should get on that, yeah. I know.
Damn. All right. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll find legs, and this may be a huge boon for Ingress then.
Well, this is crazy because I think I missed the Pokemon thing. Like I was just like
never left.
I just never got it.
She's
You
right.
know what I mean? I just never hit that point. You know what I mean? I wasn't interested. Just like I missed it. You know.
Well,
Yeah.
I can dig it.
And
It's
so,
one
but I
of
see
those
people
things
around me
that-
just going bananas over
It was
this stuff.
generational. I
mean,
was
it was
around
too.
when Jay, we were in high school.
We were, and I remember when Pokemon dropped, and I'm not gonna front. I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but
See, I never got into the anime, but I've played every new game when it comes out. But my thing on a personal note to jump around, I'm just not loving Pokemon Go because I play Pokemon as an RPG, and I love discovering the new towns, discovering the new
So what's the
plot,
draw? Is that what it
enemies.
is?
No, this Pokemon Go is just kind of getting gyms, battling people. Not quite yet good on the battling people, but really it's just to catch them all.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm looking forward this November, Pokemon Moon is coming, which is Moon and Sun are the new generation of Pokemon with new Pokemon being introduced. That's the stuff that I always like.
I got you.
And I'm just finding this kind of bland. But what's interesting is all of the reasons that I'm not being head over heels in love with it are the reasons that more casual Pokemon players who have the nostalgia, especially slightly younger than some of us that were maybe in elementary school when Pokemon first arrived, they're going completely bazonkers over it because they just want to catch them all. They're like, yo, I'm going to get a Pikachu, I'm going to get a Weedle, I remember this guy, ooh, it's Butterfree. Remember when Butterfree found a girlfriend? It was so sad. Like,
So remember when,
Go out and get your exercise. Walk,
Exactly.
Well,
3 or 4 miles to go get
that's
this
one of
thing,
the things. It's just like they're saying, well, okay, all the nerds are going to be slim and trim now because they're all walking around and things. I'm like, okay, you a-holes.
First of all, you're a jerk. Second of all, you can still drive to different places.
And you can still stop at a convenience store and walk.
Okay, there's been a lot of accidents reported because like the controversy is people not necessarily abusing the game, but playing it the wrong times. Well, folks
texting
that are playing
and driving is a real thing, and so playing this and driving, I'm assuming, is probably gonna kill somebody eventually.
Because you're like, I don't even
on the highway. Because
I get the logic. I get the logic, though. The logic. I mean, if you think you can text real good, you're not even typing in letters. You do is flicking your finger to try to throw the ball.
I'm so bad at it.
Man, I'm so good at texting. I can flick the freaking finger. And
I'm so bad at it.
Okay, so how ill is your game? Where if this was augmented reality, you got a sack of Pokeballs in the back seat. Okay, you drive it along there, and you see damn it, I was thinking something that Fire Dog one.
Fire Dog.
Okay, fine. You see Ekans, and you got a real snake fetish on the side of the road. You like, you know what? I got to pull off 93 real quick. But hold on, let me check this out the window because I'm just that nice. And I'm gonna aim and smack it on the forehead, catch it by surprise.
By the way, whoever you're talking to in the car at this point, and if they let you do that, they're as guilty as the guy driving. Yeah, no worries, just pull off. It's no traffic here.
You gotta hit him with the car first if you want to catch it. Though. You gotta hurt it a little bit.
Yeah, Amy, why in the RPGs, why is there no option to side swipe the nearest Pokemon? You know how many Executor I could collect?
I just want to punch some of them in the face.
And they make that little laughing sound from like,
Well, no, what is it? Wobbuffet, that secondary Team Rocket mascot. He could catch it. He could catch the 2-piece in the biscuit.
Makes that Mario Kart haha every time you hit something.
Well, Amy, you also mentioned another thing that's happening. Stores are taking advantage of not just taking advantage, some being taken advantage of.
Because it really just depends also on what they are and how they're oriented. Like something that I'm sure, I don't know if we were going to get to this specifically, but there was a guy who lives in an old church and it's like renovated into his house. And because it used to be a church, I guess during Ingress, it was made into like a hotspot, and now it's a Pokespot or a Pokestop, whatever, or gym, I guess. And people keep going onto his property to do Pokemon Go stuff. He's going bizarre. He's getting upset though because it's all well and good when there's like 5 teenagers outside your house at 2:30 in the afternoon, but people are coming by 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning all hours of the day.
Crazy. Get the Clint Eastwood types, going.
What happens when a store or a bar or
I've got to catch them all.
I have to.
How long? But keeping in mind that in America, there's a lot of places where it's completely legal to shoot a trespasser. What if you're in Tennessee and there's a Wobbuffet,
anywhere in Florida,
a Wobbuffet in someone's pool in Florida? Like, what happens then? Do you climb over the fence to get that Wobbuffet?
Yes, because then
how long before somebody's genuinely harmed because of Pokemon Go if they haven't been already?
All that means is there'll be less competition for that Charizard when it finally friggin' shows up.
I mean, she brings a point because I saw this on Facebook. Not sure if it was a meme, but it was hilarious. There was a guy who was like, I'm sitting in my house. I think my like 7 at night. You saw her. He was like,
kids come to my door. They tell me there's a Pikachu in the backyard, and I looked down at that little boy, and I saw myself in that kid. So I slammed the door in his face and ran to the backyard, and now I got level 50 Pikachu.
And when I read that, I thought it was the funniest thing ever. And B, I'm like, okay, at least it can go that extreme. We'll go to the extreme that Amy just brought up about maybe could get violent. Let's hope not.
It's just unfortunate.
Is it actually doing that? Like they are? Because I heard that was a
disclaimer
rumor. It's showing up in people's houses.
It's completely true that there are different Pokemon in different areas. Yeah. And I mean, I personally was walking down over the bridge to get I forget the real name for the bridge, but the one by MIT that's known as the Smoot Bridge.
Yeah.
And there were Pokemon just like in the water and stuff, and like mostly you could get to them, but like how long before somebody tries to jump in or get a boat or something? And we're all sitting here laughing, but there's people who would do stuff like this.
Plenty of stupid people out there.
In that situation, I do understand the concern, and that is an actual danger. That's also called natural selection.
That's true. The Darwin Awards this year are going to many a Pokemon.
Well, they have that disclaimer. It's just like be aware of your surroundings.
When
and
you
things.
first
It's like, hey, listen, guys. Don't be stupid. It's what they're saying, but they're like, they're setting the rules up to be stupid. You know what I mean? They're like, but don't be stupid. It's like, but you're probably gonna be anyway.
I mean, especially with the feature for you to snap the photo of the Pokemon
people
jumping
are climbing
like on
up onto
whatever.
things. I've already seen pictures of people on top of cars taking a picture of something. Is that your car?
No.
Is that someone else's car?
Yes.
I'm just
believe it. If it was my
concerned.
car and someone's standing on the hood of my car,
Exactly.
they're getting brought down.
That shot of you over there, teen wolfing.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they said right now after this, and it's not even a week since it's been out, but they said it's to the point where they're approaching or they just bypassed the amount of Twitter users this Pokemon Go.
Whoa.
It's bananas.
You know, I'm
It is.
not surprised at that. Pokemon has been an epidemic for like
It's
2
still,
plus
I mean,
decades.
it's still going strong, but this particularly resonates with people who maybe haven't picked up a Pokemon game, who maybe haven't picked up any new games in the past 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
but they have the nostalgia and love for either the original anime series or the original games, or even I'm noticing a lot of people who haven't played a game since they were kids saying, oh, Pokemon Go, it's on my iPhone, I can take a picture with Squirtle.
So this is equivalent to the cats who haven't touched it and who are still reminiscing about Pokemon Snap.
But then here's the problem.
And now, when the new Ninja Turtles movie comes out, oh my God, Michael Bay's bringing that thing from a childhood. No, you've been.
All
way
right,
out
but
of
to be
touch.
fair, Pat, I remind you, just to make sure to rub salt in the wound that you'll never close, we liked the Turtles 2 movie. It was
Yes, we
fun
did.
and pretty good.
Yes, and
Our listeners know that we found that movie pleasant.
Did Michael Bay have them do cocaine with their turtle nostrils that they have?
in the same respect, I'm sure I will thoroughly enjoy Michael Bay's Pokemon. All right, hold on. Let's jump to the next news story because on the subject of it being dangerous,
Yeah.
dig this now. Teens use Pokemon Go app to lure robbery victims.
Aye.
This is the thing that
Missouri?
actually happened. Yeah. The suspects 16 to 18 are thought to be behind 10 to 12 armed robberies in St. Louis and St. Charles counties in Missouri. They allegedly used the app to bait victims. So just an old-fashioned jack. The app allows users to interact virtually with Pokemon characters nearby in the real world using a lure module that players can use to attract both Pokemon and other users. The Pokestops we mentioned earlier. Now, these are locations where players can go collect items and level up. So what they do is they organize groups to hunt together. Now, police believe the app was used to add a beacon to a Pokestop, luring players to the suspect's car. They had a black BMW parked in a remote location, no cameras. It's kind of off in the woods, but still in an area where I see a couple of Pokemon here and there. They go to Ponyta in the distance, so I'm not going for that. But there goes by that car. Maybe I can get something there because that seems to be the Pokestop where people are gathering. And then you pull up to it, and then there's just a bunch of kids in the car with a gun. Like, give me everything you got.
If they're not wearing a big R on their shirt, they're missing one hell of an opportunity.
I mean, jokes aside, it just comes down to people will ruin anything.
Well, that
If people can manipulate
I
something,
think
they
more
will.
than that, we're just such easy targets
Yep.
nowadays. We're walking around with tracking devices, and like, oh, I'm gonna go over here because it says to, and then
My
it's just like, what do you think's gonna-
$700 phone
Yeah.
in my hand, waving around to get a picture of Pikachu.
We're getting tracking devices that we're paying for too, so anyone can just find us at any time. Yes, people are exploiting it and like ruining things, but also we're just such easy targets, and we're just making it that way. It's so ridiculous how
What's
we just
horrible-
willingly put ourselves in these obviously compromising situations.
I had a conversation about that a couple days ago, over the weekend, about we had this whole fear like 10, 15 years ago. Oh, Big Brother's coming for us.
Yeah.
1984 was foreshadowed. Oh, we gotta fight. What do you mean? Cameras on the ATMs? They're coming to get us. Cameras in the stop traffic lights. Oh God, it's starting. And it's like now everyone willingly photo documents every aspect of their life.
How much does it matter if like the Edward Snowden thing comes in out, like the NRA is watching everything you do? What does it matter when you're already putting everything you do out there willingly anyway?
Fair enough.
Hey man,
Like, yes, it's crap what that's doing. That's horrible. But at the same time, it's like, do you think these kids really matter? Everything they do is documented and put on. Even the dumbest stuff, the most mundane, horrible, in between, brushing your teeth and
Look,
sitting down things.
Everyone needs to know what I've eaten 24 hours a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly
To make
when
sure
I
you're
poop
eating,
it
yeah.
and how sharp the wings of
was
my
that,
eyeliner was
Was it
while
from the
I
movie
pooped.
Pop Star? Saying, yeah, just rubbed one out. I'm feeling real relaxed right now. You know what I mean? Well, that's it. So it's like oversharing has become something that's out there. And
It's almost sought after, if anything. But
But how much attention are you really giving the mundane activities? Though,
too much. I think that's what it is, though. I mean,
someone can have 50 posts on Facebook a day. I'm probably not going to look at.
well,
yeah,
everyone needs to
that's
know
true.
exactly when and where I caught that Rattata.
Yeah.
True. True. All I can say is my Rapidash is faster than yours. No, actually, I
My
know it's
Rattata is in
wrong
the 99th percentile.
for teeth. It's wrong. It's wrong because I'm imagining that this wasn't for like money and things. They just really wanted everyone else's Pokemon.
Yeah. Could
And
be
they lured them there just to jack their phones.
It's just crazy. So much has happened
which is
with this game in
horrible.
this short amount of time.
Yeah.
Like, there's a dead body. All these kids got robbed. When did it release? This morning? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like released more like
pretty much-
Friday or something like that. It was like
Yeah,
Thursday or Friday. It's ridiculous.
It's been, I think, less than a full week. We've already got like 10 robberies in the dead body.
Yeah, pretty much.
Isn't that kind of sadly though like a commentary on the world today? Like I hate to be that person that's like back in my day, but I feel like that really shows the differences between Pokemon 1997
Yeah.
and Pokemon 2016.
Because I mean, what we were doing cards, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
we were trading cards and watching anime.
It's analog, man. Come on.
Pretty much.
It's like 10 kids lured unsuspecting players to their car and stole their Pogs.
That I did carry my Pog with my custom masher. Everything.
He's back in Pog form.
All right, so what they're saying is not a single Blastoise found yet.
No.
You gotta level up your Squirtle.
I mean, it's messed up, man. I can't front though. This place had a little lure on it when I came in. So
Yeah.
plus the EMF.
I caught a Zubat.
Oh,
Me too, man.
Oh, man, we're enablers. Herb, I trusted you.
I named it Bauhaus.
You named it. Did you really?
Nice.
I always name bat Pokemon goth names.
Nice.
Nice.
I had a really good Crobat named Robert Smith in my last game.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna.
Bobby, we call him.
Bobby Smith. Bobby Bat.
All right, so I hope you're sick of Pokemon because I want to turn to Jay and I want to turn to Amy and ask. So, are you guys ready for the Pokemon Go review?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I can deliver mine really brief. It's buggy and the server's down right now.
Nice.
There you go.
Pretty much.
Down right now. Right this minute.
What are you gonna do?
All right. Well, now
Nope.
JM
No,
and Amy
How
have
do
the
people
actual.
live before Friday?
JM and Amy have the actual proper Pokemon Go review. I'm actually
Yes.
curious to find out because I've read the news stories. We've gotten all the propaganda and stuff. Like we just went down a bunch of it. But the actual experience itself of playing, how are you guys finding the game? Like as an experience, it's augmented reality? This is a new venture for them. You know, before it's not just an RPG, it's not just basically a gimmick game. Like things like Snap I mentioned was a straight gimmick game. How?
but Snap was so good.
Snap was terrible. What are you
Snap was
talking about?
okay. Well,
little
here's,
microphone
then
and-
here's my review. Then
Okay.
I feel like I'm a really bad target for Pokemon Go because I love Pokemon Snap, and I love the little mini games inside Pokemon. I want to go play the slots in Vermilion City or whatever. I want to do that, and Pokemon Go for me is not that engaging because I really like the story, really like discovering new Pokemon types, etc. And I'm not one of those people that gotta catch them all. And my main issue with the game is, for me, it's just super repetitive. There's nothing else to do. Maybe they're going to introduce more features, but at least right now, and particularly when you're at a lower level, it's really just, oh, I caught a Rattata. Oh, I caught 12 more Rattatas. Cool.
Okay, you sound very exciting so far.
Yeah, it's thrilling.
Some kind of
And I have to say,
multi-international
but
phenomena.
I do understand the joy it's bringing to others. I understand people saying like, "Yo, I walked across the bridge and I caught 6 Pokemon, and then I got to MIT, and the MIT dorm
So how
was a
many are there?
Pokeball stop."
Is there like an
It's-
end?
There's 150
game?
or
It's
more to
151
see.
at least.
At least.
So I think as of right now,
Yep.
they maybe have the original 151, but we don't know what more they may do over time. Because one of the interesting things, at least, is it's an app. It can be updated and changed at any point. They can always, what we're seeing now, 6 months from now, it might be completely different. There's just no way to know.
Yeah, they're gonna do like a cross promotion with like Monster High.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like all
See,
these
then I'd love that.
goth Pokemon.
Speaking as a Monster High doll myself, I would love that.
Yep, you're decked out in the Monster High gear today. All right. So Jay,
I mean, I'm coming from a different lens. I mean,
Okay.
my interaction with Pokemon was very limited. Like you said, we was in high school, it dropped, and I watched a couple episodes. I was like, man, I'm not necessarily feeling the premise. I'm like, I'm okay
Seems
with
a little
it. I
bit
kinda
like animal
passed off.
cruelty to me.
Honestly, I mean,
Oh, man, I got
my
friends that
mindset
are
at that
real
time-
mad.
At that time, I really thought that. At the time, I'm sitting here like, you're smacking this creature in the head with a ball, you're keeping it. Then you train them up to fight other creatures.
it's
at
animal
that
mandingo fighting, son.
It's-
So
That's
at
exactly what's going on there.
So at that time, 15, 16-year-old Thriller Priest was bad at this. You fast forward now, I'm like, why not? It's
Yeah, it wasn't so bad.
So I mean, I see this as good for like your casual player, like Amy mentioned. Your purists aren't gonna really like it because it's very limited. If you're a commuter, it's really something that's pretty easy for you to do while you're on the train.
Oh, it's
I see it
perfect for that. Or if you're walking to work, if you have if you have a 15-minute walk to work, well, congratulations, it's now 45.
Stopping every 2 minutes to swipe your thumb up.
But gameplay wise, it's only been out less than a week. I really look forward to seeing what they do with it over time because it's just truly been crashing infinitely. Yeah. I caught a Pokemon earlier today, for example, and it just stayed in the ball and nothing progressed, and I had to quit out. This has been happening to a lot of people.
It's been happening to a lot of people.
So they really just need to get their stuff together and make some improvements on the bugginess in the servers. There's also been a couple people now, some say conspiracy theorists, some say wary, that when you sign up for the game, it asks to link a Google account, and people are getting, a little squoobly over the fact that it may or may not have access to all of your information, and they're like,
all your emails.
Why does Pokemon need this? I personally just made an email account for Pokemon, but not everybody does stuff like that.
It was definitely a little odd. I was waiting for the sign in with your Facebook. I'm like,
no, it makes you sign in with a Google account.
With a Google account, I'm like, Google.
So people are getting a little wary of it. We'll see what happens.
I mean, that's another thing. We're easy targets. Just give us your information. Be like, sure.
Look, Squirtle looks really trustworthy. I'd give him my social security number. That guy's legit.
He's not gonna go open up a credit card account.
Hey kids, sign in with your checking account number.
Adopt children under my name.
Give me your social security number.
Squirtle seems like a rad dude.
But I mean, I think it's gonna. I'm not sure it's gonna have longevity. Honestly, I mean, I think Amy's a little more hopeful than I am. I honestly think this is gonna fall away along with tap tap tap. Remember when that was all the rage where you sit on the train, you tap your thumbs to the music, to the beat of the music. It was really big. It was like the iPhone version or the mobile version of Rock Band or whatever. And it was really big that it just dropped.
Well, this has the nostalgia factor to it, so I think it has a time and a place, and the cultural zeitgeist of Pokemon is only getting more fever pitched, and I think I can see it teetering off a bit this fall in November when Sun and Moon are released, because the diehard Pokemon fans are most likely going to veer onto that. But this is really speaking to a lot of mainstream media, and as I said, people who have maybe not touched a handheld device game in maybe even 10, even more years, are gravitating to this because it is low impact. I'm going to log into Pokemon Go, take a walk around my neighborhood, catch a couple Pokemon. All right, now I'm home.
I guess I just underestimated how big this was. Like I said, because I missed it. You know what I mean? I wasn't involved, and none of my friends were as well. But how giant, how many fans this thing has, and how just madhouses people are going for, and I was just like, really? Is that big?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pokemon, I think
I get it now, but I'm just kind of seeing it, and I'm just like, wow. I had no idea. I didn't really have any idea.
It's a juggernaut, my friend.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing I want to know is, after you catch the Pokemon, are you committed to training them? Is that what's going on here?
No, the way you basically train them is by sacrificing other Pokemon to them. Now, this I can get behind.
This is so awful.
So I know.
I just learned this today.
If you catch a Zubat, let's say, and you want to level up that Zubat, you need to catch 6 more Zubats, and what you do is you quote unquote transfer it to the Pokemon professor, who is this weirdly attractive older dude. They definitely are tapping into that Tumblr daddy crowd with really Professor Willow. I'm not just saying this to be weird.
It's the truth.
He's genuinely this older silver fox guy in bike shorts and his muscles.
It's Don Draper's spinning a
yeah, but it really is. It's a little where's Bert?
He's in a bathrobe.
Sit down on my lap for a minute. We'll talk about this.
Okay, that's creepy. All right, so virgin sacrifice mode is how you actually build up your Pokemon when you have the ultimate Pokemon. Yeah, are you just trying for rares? Or are you trying for
you can hold down, so you can join one of 3 teams, which was Instinct, Valor, and Mystic, and their mascots are all the different. What are those called? Legendary birds from the first thing. So you got Ice Bird, Freezy Bird, Zappy Bird,
Free Bird.
and you join these teams,
Kills at every bar.
and you can go take over a gym, which really just means you battle until the gym turns the color of your team. And then I guess that drops items for you and other people on your team. And
Stole that mechanic from Saints Row.
It's okay. I mean, I'll be honest. It's just not engaging for me. But if you're one of those people that's like, I love collecting everything, and I want to be the most #1 player and such. Like if you,
Amy, you got to be the very best.
no man,
You know,
it's
like
cool.
no one.
I don't.
No one ever was.
I'm a hex maniac. I just want lots of ghost Pokemon. I'm cool.
Nah, you know what's up. Okay, to catch them, that's your real test. All right.
Don't start me.
Not
I can
afraid.
sing the whole thing in Spanish. You don't want to start this.
You don't want this. You don't want to do this.
You don't want to go down this path.
Oh man, you
I believe it.
sometimes. All right, so I guess just give me the proper lowdown then. I won't harp on too many points. I understand it's new, it's fresh. Amy's not feeling as much.
If you're
as
super into Pokemon, pick it up. Otherwise, if you're indifferent, I give it a couple weeks to sort itself out.
I agree.
Okay.
Give it a couple, unless you're like, oh my god, I need to play it. I need to get ahead right now. I recommend pick it up if you feel like it, but it's probably going to get its stuff together in a couple weeks.
You think it had to by now, you know?
Well, I mean, it's Pokemon.
gotta,
they know
you
they're
know
going to
what I
make
mean?
their money either
Yeah.
way. So
I'm sure they're not hearing it from anybody, too.
Man, they are kicking back and wiping their faces with bills.
Oh yeah, they're sitting on a throne of money right now.
I mean, they're
smoking a cigar,
eating.
which calms them down a little bit, but then
And
Absolutely.
it's a free download, but it's making its money through microtransactions, right?
I mean, if you want to, I mean.
Oh that's where the money's
going to
go. Because let's say you run out of Pokeballs, you want to buy stuff, you need a thing called Pokecoins, and let's just put it this
Yeah.
way: you
Like
can
I
buy 14,000 of them for $100.
you know the game Ski Safari? It's just like a little dude that goes down this hill and it's like this endless runner kind of game.
Yeah.
It's on
Is that
It's
the
like-
one
it's
where
like
you
the
get
and I
eaten by
spent
the
like
Yeti?
$25 to like get coins and like buy different things. And that's just this game. You know what I mean? I can't imagine I was deep into like Pokemon. Yeah, have my money. Have
If
it.
you're the kind of person that needs to collect all the stuff too, it will eat up your money. Like I have a friend that plays
Yeah,
Final
done.
Fantasy 14, and she buys every level up and add-on, and that's who they're banking on for
the
this.
devil gives you the first one for free.
Yep, real quick, perfect
Truth.
example is you can get eggs, and if you want to hatch those eggs, you got to walk around, and there's no real way to cheat at it. If you put it in an incubator, it hatches faster. Surprise, surprise! You can buy an upgraded incubator in the
Genius.
store.
I love. We used to play this game called Gunbound, in which was it was like basically a rip off of Worms. Every coordinate battle game forever is going to be a rip off of Worms.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. You play this little like big headed 10-year-old kid in his own like mini spaceship, and you're just having coordinate battles with other little weird 10-year-olds with big heads. It was no explanation. It was like an episode of Twilight Zone. No explanation as to why you're in a place. You're fighting the 10-year-olds. You've all got spaceships, and
Rod
armaments.
Sterling.
Yeah, weird stuff. And it was a free download, and somehow this made it into the corporate sector. We're playing this at work every day. Everyone in my company at lunch. You know, like it's just loaded up on their machine.
The
We all
loser
have.
section over here.
We just have this hour-long battle of like an entire company of like 40 people. 35 of them are playing the game.
Wow.
CEOs walking around like, "Are you all actually working?"
I don't know what you're doing here, but I like it.
And the game itself was free. To play is free, but to play with the absolute basic stuff is free.
Always.
Yeah. And the way they made their money, which this was where looking back, this was just a racket. Okay, they were slick with it. It's not you buy new armaments and you buy weapons and stuff. It's you buy a flag and you buy a jacket and you buy a hat for your guy. You know, you style them.
It's like Marlboro Miles.
Yeah, everyone else looks exactly the same, except they'll be bald-headed, they'll be red-headed, they'll be they'll have black hair or something, they'll be blonde. Or if I want to make my dude black, I gotta pay a price. If I want to make my dude a woman, I gotta pay a price. If I want to give my dude a red shirt as opposed to a blue, gotta pay a price. You know, if I want to differentiate it in any way, stylize it in any way, and you would see people like be really elaborate with it. Like I would say maybe I would consider for like a week or two, maybe I'm gonna spend $5 to get my dude a hat and some shades and something, make him really look good, and devote $5 to this game because I see how much they charge for this stuff. And then you play online once, and there are all these folks that have, oh, I've got mine and a big Terminator robot, and mine has wings, and mine has a flag, and these, you know, it's got a whole motif going. And I'm like, okay, this is how they make their money, because I know I'm a person with common sense who's like, I don't really want to do this, but maybe I'm being left behind. Maybe I'll spend a couple of bucks here or a couple of Pokecoins. And then there are folks who are like balls to the wall, have more money than sense, and will exploit that to the fullest.
Sure.
And I mean, I think that's the reason why I think it will start petering off at some point, purely because of that. I mean, this game's only been out for a couple days now.
Yeah,
but you already have
fever
gyms.
pitch has reached.
The fever pitch has reached that you already have gyms that are stacked with people with combat power in the thousands already. And it's difficult for you to get combat power to thousands in 3 days. I mean,
It's difficult.
unless you drop money. Unless you drop money and you've had alternative methods in which you're able to stack up your power. So it's like, people are doing that.
Yeah.
So I mean, if it's me, I'm like, I'm not spending any money on this. And after I wear myself out, get tired of just catching Pokemon. Okay, now I need to go to the next level and try to, catch a gym or see what I'm gonna do. And you realize you're going in you're fighting an uphill battle and fighting people in the gym who is pouring money into their Pokemon, literal money, buying the coins or whatever. Then I'm just like, yo, screw it, I'm not gonna do it, because in the end, I'm only gonna hit a certain max. And that's why I think it's going to peter off.
All right.
When I was a kid, if I wanted to ignore someone on the MBTA, I had to read the Metro. They still make the Metro?
They do. I always see them
Really?
crumpled into piles on the
Yeah,
floor.
well, that was what you read if you wanted to not make eye contact with people on the train. Now you just have your phone and these games.
Oh, now they're probably wipe up the homeless guy's semen.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Whoa,
I got to check out the latest release, Tarzan.
Segue.
Okay, my bad. We got to check out. Yes, Tarzan released in theaters, my man. I don't even know if I have the words, yo.
Okay, so my first thing on Tarzan, because I haven't seen it yet, but I would find if I went to see this movie, I'd be a little bit distracted by the gym bod that is Skarsgård in this movie, and I'm like, there's no way he's eating that.
He takes
diet
his shirt off and it never goes back on.
She's right.
No, she's
Yeah,
correct.
I also said it never goes back.
It's a deal.
But he's eating stuff off the bone and everything like that. They didn't eat that well then.
I got my money's worth.
I got my money.
Well, it's like the paleo diet, right?
What people don't know is
They also
that
do CrossFit. But
Yeah, for those who don't know, the main character is this shirtless dude's abs, and the plot is that this guy's raised in the jungle, so he doesn't know what clothes are.
Yeah.
And he goes to the big city, and he has to fight some bad guys, and he has to go back to the jungle. So he continues being shirtless.
So this isn't like an origin story, right?
No.
So this is like he's already in the city, which is hearing that I actually really kind of got it behind it a little bit, because I didn't want a Tarzan origin story. I didn't want any other origin story that why don't I just have this guy later, then go back? I thought that was a good take on it. Does that work for you?
Flashback a little bit.
They do.
Of course,
They have to, I'm sure,
but it wasn't an origin story. Definitely flashback, which definitely gave you context for what you're walking into.
Right.
Yeah, it was a very interesting way to actually present that too, because I was afraid that it was going to be an origin story, but I'm like, you know what, I'm here, let me try not to go in jaded. And then when it didn't start off that way, and I'm like, you know what, okay, I really appreciate that they're taking this approach. And then they did that first flashback, and I'm thinking now, so you're just gonna do a whole 10-15 minute flash, and I'm gonna forget about the main story while you present all this BS that I kind of already know. No, they did it in small flashes. You got 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 2 minutes here, and it never took away from the main story. They worked those parts in kind of ham-fistedly, though. I'm not gonna say it was that smooth.
I agree.
But it's gotta be a little hammy, right? I mean, you gotta suspend your disbelief at this point. That guy was raised by wolves and eat raw meat.
Well, there was other things that really distracted you from it. Like
anytime anyone's had a line.
Yeah. It's somewhere they sprinkled in Sam Jackson too. So let right head around that.
I saw that. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What's he doing here?
I don't think he knew.
Sam's like, I'm doing a movie. I don't. Tarzan.
I was almost mad.
I can't be that racist.
I know.
No. Okay. Well, the actual premise of this movie is this takes place years after the traditional story of Tarzan.
Like
that
the Greystoke Tarzan,
Yes.
Right.
He's been back living in civilization, and he's been requested by the government to return to help them acquire some land. Actually, was it Britain?
No, he was in Britain. Was it Belgium?
He was in Britain, yes. He met them in Britain, where he also met Sam Jackson playing Dr. George Washington.
Something like that.
I like that none of us, we don't even really know what this movie's about, because it's so loosey-goosey.
Sure.
It was.
Your plot light. Here we go.
First of all, I'm going to say off the bat, just because everything I say from this point on is going to make it seem like I hated this movie. I recommend folks to see this movie. It is ridiculous.
Now,
almost on some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadow level ridiculous. like that deep. Okay,
has to be, yeah.
James,
So,
you were there.
okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
So
okay,
I like the
movie
idea
where-
of a movie with the action scenes, you know what I mean, the CGI and him swinging from vine to vine. I wanted a lot of that, you know what I mean? The guy that has that kind of grip strength really kind of intrigues me. So is there a lot of action scenes like that? Is it fun like that?
There is tons of action in this, but it's all, and none of it's for the purpose you'd expect.
Okay. So it's not fun, is that what you're saying?
If fun is up to interpretation.
Okay,
Tarzan is actually being asked to return to Africa for a very noble purpose. You know, to stop a bunch of people who were taking advantage of local tribes, to exploit diamonds from them, and to stop slavers who were actively.
Well, I mean, he actually discovers that. I mean, because he was summoned by
that's what Sam Jackson was there for.
Right, that's what Sam Jackson was there for. That was his impression, but he was actually invited by the Belgian government as a means of trying to negotiate or trying to help him out because the Belgians and the Brits ultimately were running roughshod within the Congo, and they're like, okay, you know, we're trying to make this go to the next level in terms of us making this country be prosperous under Belgian and British
that was the smoke screen.
How do they reconcile the fact?
Screen.
How do they reconcile the fact that they're asking a white guy to save the slaves?
Because Tarzan is the only. This is where it becomes, and if you'll pardon the term, but
because he's a gorilla man.
This is the concept of the Impossible White Man movie. Is when you have someone of Caucasian background, specifically going into a non-Caucasian field, environment, location, anything, and they become the ultimate savior. We could not have solved the problem without you.
It's like The Last Samurai.
Yeah, but see, I'm defending The Last Samurai because the title The Last Samurai actually refers to the Ken Watanabe character.
Right. Okay,
fair enough.
I'm taking I have to believe that.
This was not. Tarzan is the link that the white government has to the African jungle, Congo tribe people. He's the direct link, and he's the best representative they have.
You might even say he's the
one
missing link.
But, well, without harping on it too much, because I don't want to give away spoilers. I didn't realize you hadn't seen it where we had.
No, I saw a farting corpse movie.
A fart, yeah.
Which also was excellent, though.
That was a little different. I will say this
Less
took
shirtlessness, though.
Impossible White Man movie to the ultimate extreme.
Absolutely.
And it became a good ass time when it got more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
For a long
when you
time,
buy
the movie
in and you can
starts
sit
to-
there, right? It's gonna be good. I'm intrigued. I do want to see this. I didn't happen to get it this week.
I will warn you, it starts off with the very noble cause of first Tarzan's going to assist the government. Then he's going to prevent the diamond smugglers. And then he's going to help thwart the slavers. And at some point, all that goes like straight out the window because, oh man, they touched my girl, son. It's on now. Right. Jackson, you with me? And then Sam Jackson's like, I got my rifle. Let's do this. It gets so nth degree that the movie never stops taking itself supremely seriously.
Yeah.
There are a couple of jokes here and there, but Tarzan is serious.
What about Margot Robbie?
The government is serious. Margot Robbie is serious, and in many ways, she was kind of more badass in some scenes than Tarzan. Tarzan did a lot of mugging. He did a lot of mugging, but she was the one.
And I say this with extreme love.
Yeah.
Truly a movie with the female gaze.
Really?
Truly, that
Well
is.
said.
I'll argue
Well
that this
said.
is something that doesn't really exist, and we all exist within a patriarchal male gaze culture. But on a fun note, it's truly one of those, like, it's a bodice ripper action movie.
By the way, I think a lot of guys are into that.
Yeah, it's male power fantasy. And I say this respectfully, and that it's a positive thing.
Sure.
That Tarzan is not presented as this hyper masculine, I'm going to punch everything in the face.
Oh, no, he's not.
He's a sensitive. He's a sensitive. He just wants to be a member of society.
He explains to children why he looks a certain way.
Exactly. Interacting with the kids.
Yeah, like it's very, and I say this very positively. Too many action movies. He's a bad boy with a heart of gold.
He's a bad boy.
Too many action movies rely on the hyper masculine, neck vein punch him up. And it was refreshing to see this movie with a lot of intriguing action sequences and a main character that I would even argue that he's barely even the main character. He's kind of just something that forwards the plot, but the plot is something that happens to Tarzan, not so much because of him.
He's just
I don't know. They really couldn't have ended this the way they did without Tarzan.
I just mean that the overall plot is motivated less by I'm Tarzan and I'm on a mission and I'm the hero of this story. He is the eye candy.
I may have to go with Amy on this one.
I wouldn't go that far,
that
mostly because
you gentlemen may have a little bit different perspective.
I've got a different perspective because he seemed more like almost an absentee hero.
That's a good way of phrasing it. That's a good way of phrasing it.
Yeah. A lot of obvious tropes were in this movie. You go to Tarzan's old tribe that he and Jane used to live with, and then something bad's going to happen here. It's telegraphed.
Absolutely.
We travel through the jungle with Tarzan, but we're really taking in more of the environment and dealing with Sam Jackson's experience than Tarzan. Tarzan's it's
still important that he looks good and that you appreciate the way he looks. Like, I mean, even like old action movies, the way Stallone was all cut up. Like, I think I went and enjoyed those.
I never saw Stallone play Tarzan.
But
no, not Tarzan, but I'm saying, like, in Rambo and stuff.
He swings some fun.
I mean, the one thing I put forward. I mean, I say the big difference between both of those is that, I mean, you actually fell in love with the character of Stallone. So before you pick Rambo or Rocky, you were with Stallone.
But it's still important that they're all greased up and jacked. Right. That's part of it. That
absolutely.
You have to
that's
like that. I think it's more important to the men than it is the women going to watch.
Well, absolutely, I agree with you. But the kicker is that with Tarzan, I found myself just really looking forward to the people he interacted with. I look forward to the interactions, not really Tarzan. So
when he interacted with
well, yeah, I'm not going to be in the back of the movie. Take your shirt off.
I'm already doing that. Don't worry. And then he never put it back on.
Yeah, we were sitting in front of these very vocal ladies in the theater.
You can't swing like that in a cravat.
Man,
get out of here.
This dude took their shirt off, and you heard, and just like shifting behind us. I'm like, yo, I'm a little uncomfortable.
He looked like Hulk, you know what I mean? He had the Hulk teared pants too, with no shirt. It's like just small Hulk.
And Skarsgård there, if you ever seen him on True Blood, he's one of the more like emotionally effective characters. Yeah. You know, and in this movie, he was completely like mostly deadpan for the movie.
Well,
and the thing is, I think
he learned from gorillas.
No, I think he was trying to. Affect this like brooding, tortured inside. Like, no, you're not, man.
Well,
you've got your life, your happiness. You've been in civilization. You've gonna come back to your peoples. You know, if anything, you should be the most like emotionally expressive here, and everyone else gave me that except you.
And I think that's the thing that really bothered me about the movie, because I mean, I'm expected a little bit more from Tarzan, and in the end, all I really got was you, as AB said, pushing the plot along. Yeah. I feel bad that I was looking forward to the other characters' interaction with him and not him, because exactly what you said, P. It was all nothing but deadpan delivery. I'm waiting for your next interaction to see the other characters who interact with you show emotion.
So much of the preparation for these characters now is like getting into the shape. Like, oh, I got to be on the strictest diet for 9 months, and it's all about getting in shape and getting there. None of it's going to like actually preparing for the role mentally and to like delivering these lines and being emotional. You know what I mean? It's like they turned John Krasinski from a comedy guy into this schlubby action star. They're doing the same thing with Chris Pratt. You're taking an ace comedian and making him a dumb action star. It's just like you're taking away from the actual roles they're doing and making them just these pieces of meat. You know what I mean? They got great bodies and they're doing these great action movies that I pay money to go see and everything, but you're wondering why the characters are suffering. It's probably just because it's so much focused on the packing on the pounds. Every interview you see, every time they go on to Conan O'Brien, it's like, oh, you had to get in really good shape for this. Yeah, I eat 6 chicken breasts a day with broccoli.
I won't say this movie is hurting for substance. I'll say it's hurting for logical substance. It struggles for what it wants to be, but it is a lot of things. I will say they really did try to tell the noble story, and they really did accomplish it eventually, but not in the ways that they probably should have. Whenever Tarzan got into a fight scene, it was just raw.
Is it violent?
They went out of their way.
Because Greystoke, Tarzan the Greystoke, that is one of the most violent, nasty movies.
Grisly deaths.
So I mean, I'm glad it falls in that line, because that's it runs with those old ones.
It doesn't just fall in there. That's what I'm getting at. It at several points tries to be the lighthearted, it's Tarzan and his buddy in the jungle. You know, Sam Jackson cracked the joke. He almost licked the gorilla's nuts. You know, and like these gags there. I even mentioned how at the end when we go back to Sam Jackson and his approach towards Tarzan starts off as, it's the savage I'm going to talk to and get to help my cause. And now it's like, my man Tarzan, look at him over there.
Pretty much.
And the whole thing is like that like lighthearted fare when not like 2 minutes ago in this movie, you had someone get eaten on camera by a crocodile.
Is Jaimon Hansu in this thing?
Jaimon Hansu is in this movie.
I didn't even know, but I'm like, Jaimon Hansu's in this movie.
The most African guy on the planet has the least prominent role.
Sorry, it's the last time.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much more time on this. There's not that much more to say. It's just.
It's enjoyable. I liked it and it was good.
It's summer fun, right?
You want summer fun?
Summer fun though.
This is Tarzan, a story we know about a boy that was raised by gorillas and then is adept at swinging through vines and communing with nature. This dude is talking to animals, calling on stampedes.
Phil Collins is playing in the background.
He's superhuman. He's kicking dudes through walls. He's kicking dudes through stone walls. This is no exaggeration. He did this.
And he gets back on the ab rocker for about 25 minutes.
He's just bulletproof.
Yeah.
At one point,
keep his macros up.
Yeah, he's taking down steamboats barehanded.
Hold on, I need another chicken breast.
And
Quinoa.
I love how at the big confrontation at the end, Tarzan calls out everybody. He's calling out the buffalo. He's calling out the ostriches. He's calling out the gorillas. They all come and back him up like street gangs. And then he calls out every village warrior within in all of Africa. They all come to back him up. Like they line up like in the movie Zulu. And then Tarzan taking out an entire army almost single-handedly.
Pretty much.
While all these dudes, all these warriors that came, stand there bopping like they're about to freestyle.
Like tagging, man. Tarzan's not tagging.
Yeah, we gonna get in. Tarzan, Tarzan, hey man.
I'm just gonna wait till he needs help. Set her up. Dude, this is my favorite review I think we've ever done. On the show. Not gonna lie. For a movie I haven't even seen.
So what I'm saying is 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
No, I
rate it
would
a full
recommend cats
6-pack.
see this. Yeah. No, I would say I'll tell people to see it.
Netflix it.
Netflix
it.
I say go, but maybe go tipsy.
Screw guys. Screw that. I'm going IMAX big screen.
There you go. Yeah.
I need those gorilla nuts to be life size.
I know Herb's gonna be there for those cheese grater abs.
I mean, big up to Christoph Waltz, though. I gotta give him a shout out. Christoph Waltz.
We're not talking about his accent no more. All right, so Amy, you got to go to ConnectiCon.
Oh boy, howdy did I.
Yeah, I want you to give us the spiel because you had stories for days.
Okay, well,
yes.
I'm going to preface this with saying that ConnectiCon was one of my favorite conventions that I always look forward to. And I don't know what
the heck,
what they were doing this, what the hilarious sound effect they were doing this year.
Cue up the Price Right.
Okay, but I will give you the quickest rundown first and then get into the specifics. So I had a wonderful time, but that was in spite of instead of because of the way this convention was run. So for those who don't know, most anime conventions have fun late night content, have an informal dance on site, have perhaps screenings of interesting or even adult material at night. I personally run a well-attended and well-loved hentai panel at a lot of conventions.
Shameless plug.
ConnectiCon this year cut all paneling off at 8 o'clock. So 8 o'clock was the start time of the last paneling. There was no game room. The game room, video games, closed by 9 o'clock. The dealer's room and artist alley closed around 7 o'clock. And there was no on-site informal dance. It got moved to an off-site location that was like above a townie bar. It was just no bueno. It was a good 10, 15-minute walk from the convention. And, you know, don't worry, guys. The tabletop LARP room was open to 2 a.m. Something tells me that those who run this convention have priorities that are maybe a little off-kilter from those who are attending.
Yeah, it does sound like someone had an agenda going in.
Now, another issue was that for those who aren't familiar with the layout of ConnectiCon, there's kind of a plaza area between the Marriott Hotel, which is the main convention hotel, and the convention center itself. This is an area that a lot of people would hang out on during the day, and there's usually cool dance battles. There was one this year. There was like cool, like one of those inflatable T-Rex costumes dancing around. But usually there's a good couple hundred people out there at any given time. This year they made these weird security choke points of you had to flash your badge just to walk up some stairs. You couldn't loiter outside in front of the convention unless you had a badge. Now, a lot of people who go to these cons sometimes will buy like one-day pass to go to what they care about and then hang out with friends. And I understand that from a monetary point, they want to make those monies. But the price went up to about $85 for the weekend, especially if you bought it on site, which is another issue I'll get to in a second. And they increased the price without increasing or even stabilizing their content. So if it's 9 o'clock at night, you're now out of luck unless you want to go to this off-site informal dance. There's now no further content other than the tabletop and like card games and LARP rooms. There's nothing being offered to you. So they wanted you to pay more money than ever before for less content. And
it's
they
like
made
Rent in Boston.
Yeah. Oh boy. And it made everything as difficult as possible, including, for example, my friends waited in line for 5.5 hours on Friday to purchase a badge. They put everybody, both pre-registration and those who had registered on site, in one line in a parking garage that they then split off at the front of the line to go into the two separate areas pre-reg or registration, which was done by people at least 50, 60 years old, booping iPads with a hunt and peck typing method, trying to register people.
You know, those 56-year-olds love technology.
I mean,
well, no, CCCon is doing great things for like the prison rehabilitation.
they would do better. Like they would genuinely use technology better. I mean, jokes aside, it was very disheartening.
That
Well,
sucks,
the septenarians got to come from somewhere. You know, they can't be all playing shuffleboard all day. You got to get them out.
That's no fun. So this was never run this poorly before.
No, this is the convention for those who may remember from 2 years ago when I attended that the original Black Power Ranger catapulted himself
drunk,
over
and this
a
is my
couch,
favorite story. Yeah.
screamed "Go Go Power Rangers" and smashed a beer can on his
you're
head.
anticipating stuff
I'm
like that?
anticipating this crazy shenanigans. Nothing.
Nothing
It was.
good, huh?
I was out on that plaza area at night. There was no one.
That is
That's
like
the zenith.
the holy grail.
It's all
of
downhill
stories,
from there.
though. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to just crap all over this con. They had some great celebrities this year. I met John Rhys Davies, who was Gimli from Lord of the Rings. I did not, but I was Galadriel, and he was very pleasant to me. And my partner told him that he was his favorite tree. And in his Treebeard voice, he was like, "I am no tree, I am an ant." And it was so good. He totally did the voice, booming.
Awesome.
It was amazing. I high-fived Sean Astin of Toy Soldiers fame.
Of Toy Soldiers fame.
Toy Soldiers. He was of Encino Man fame.
Encino Man fame.
Watch yourself.
Encino Man.
Spawn of
He'll always be rooted
Gomez
to some of
Adams
us.
himself.
Yeah.
But so there were some really cool celebrities there. They had a lot of good like YouTuber content. I don't know any of these people, but I know a lot of people were really excited about it. They had also, Walter Koenig was there. They had a bunch of different just celebrities from all over. A couple voice actors. Voice of SpongeBob was there. Like really
Tom
cool.
Kenny.
Yeah, like stuff like
He's
really
also
cool.
Ice King.
Like cool people that
Ice
people
King.
were interested in
Adventure
meeting.
Time.
But even that, they upped the prices on that exponentially. It was like $40 just to like get an autograph on anything.
Yeah, that unnerves me because it seems
Wow.
like was this new management? Were there problems in the
I
past? They're trying
don't
to-
know if there's been any switch to things, but I do know from the scoops I've gotten that they are perhaps trying to bring it back to a more Comic-Con gaming tournament edge, which is where it kind of originated. I'm concerned because this was really a destination convention. This was one of the top summer conventions for people. And as I said, they've just increased prices and diminished the content. The gaming room, the video game area was excellent. They had Beatamania, they had the table flipping game, like all these great games that people love. Shut down by 9 p.m. though. Like what? I don't understand what they wanted people to do, except that they wanted to push it almost like a New York Comic Con thing, where New York Comic Con shuts down pretty early, but there's after parties and off-site events.
Yeah.
But
not like, hey, I'm going to go to Chili's and hang out for an hour. You know.
I mean, this is just not that kind of place, and it was very disconcerting. Like, late night content is something that people look forward to in anime cons, be it, granted, I do come out of that, adult oriented, hentai and whatever, and like the Media Blasters Kitty Media booth was there.
Yeah, all-night Bible study.
Yeah,
I'm familiar.
They also had a really funny, they had googly eyes on a lot of the hentai covers. It was very funny. So I was like, You could just like look at Bible Black and their eyeballs are jiggling more than other parts. But
Like even I'm
it's
shocked at the material.
It's just disappointing to see a convention that was once like really a fun hotspot. I feel like it almost created more problems because like I was around in the Marriott on Saturday night, for example, and when I say that there were roving gangs of kids jumping from party to party, maybe they would have been at an on-site dance. The dance was also 18 plus, so if you're under 18 attending this convention with your friends, you might have 8-9 of you crammed into a room. You've nothing to do after 9 p.m. other than, let's just say trouble.
I'd love to find out that the real story behind this is that the whole community is like morphed into like a Footloose type of neighborhood.
Yeah, right. There's just a secret,
Where's bacon?
the secret informal dance. But I mean, will I be attending next year? I have to be honest. I may not attend next year. I'm thinking I have an eye on going to some new conventions. I've heard great things about Colossal Con out in Sandusky, Ohio. That one's also what's. I want to veer more toward what's called the 24-hour convention. Things like ConnectiCon, MagFest, for example. Things that just provide content into the 2-3 a.m. slots. And
you're adults. You can make it past
exactly.
9. You know what I mean?
And
Yeah,
it's
right?
just I'm not saying have things for 15-year-olds at 3 a.m, but a lot of conventions have 18+ content late at night, or at least have your facilities open for people to use. And I don't know yet if this was a crackdown on the convention center side. I don't know if this is a crackdown just from the people who are security, but all I know is this, that the plaza area was dead by like 9:30, and this is a place where that's where all the fun stuff went down. And it's just interesting to see this convention be this year. When I've come back, neutered is the excellent way to put it. I've come back previous years saying, whoa, ConnectiCon is one of the best conventions, great content, great cosplay. I even feel like cosplay was toned down this year. I just didn't see as much big quality stuff.
Yeesh, people go for the cosplay. All right, so then with that impression and knowing what you know now, unfortunately, it seems like it may have been under new management.
I will have to find out. Unfortunately, I don't have that detail yet, but I cannot recommend this convention for coming next year as of this time.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Unless something changes, price drops, something. It just really was very disappointing.
I mean, all the money you spend for not much content.
I'm just saying, jacking up the price, then
jacking up the price,
taking it away.
significantly diminished content.
It's a pretty logical thing to be like, this is not really something that's going to work out.
I regret that it sucked for you.
I mean, I had a wonderful time, but that was on the basis of seeing my friends and having access to the people that I know and care about. But if this was my first convention, I would be very soured on the experience, I would say, given the extreme lack of content.
All right. Well, damn. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Ooh.
CTCon, screw them. All right, this has been the Geek Down here on WEMF Radio. I've been Pat B. I want to thank my homeboy Black Adam Willis.
It's good to see you, my friend. Glad you're upright.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I'm getting there. I'm still crooked in certain areas. I'm looking across the table. I want to thank my homeboy JM, the Thriller Priest.
Peace. Just caught me a Pokemon.
He did. I can see it.
Oh,
he caught a Pidgey.
You are a grown ass man. You're ashamed of yourself.
It'll fade soon.
All right. I want to thank Amy McCobb.
Hello. If you like me and want to see more of me, this Sunday, Mad Max Witness the Wasteland Burlesque Show at Oberon in Harvard Square.
Woo!
Sunday, July 17th, Witness the Wasteland.
Shameless plug. You are a grown ass man.
I'm a grown ass man. If you want to come see my grown ass man abs, come to Oberon this Sunday.
Those cheese graters, y'all.
I'll have them.
All right, and also looking across, want to thank DJ Herbie Herb. Woo! All right, I want to remind you all, you heard anything tonight you want to chime in on, have an opinion you want to share with us, hit us up at geekdownradio@gmail.com. Also, check out the site for the latest and the greatest, and I'll finally get the damn thing updated at geek-down.com. And until then, you can catch us every Monday nights, 9 p.m. right here on WEMF Radio and other rebroadcasts like that there. This has been the Geek Down. Until next week, we want to remind you all, be excellent to each other. Peace.